Negro que me dé la mano, tiene que ser negro fino. Blanco que me dé la mano, tiene que ser mayombero como yo.
África mía, África
coronando allá arriba. Arriba los seres que están 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 coronando allá arriba.
Good evening if it's evening, and good night if it's night. And a big hearty salam alaikum to each and every one of you that's listening to us live or that will be listening to us in archives. I got to tell you now, folks, I am having trouble loading on to Facebook Live, so I guess Facebook Live will not see this old face today. It's been doing this for the last whatever amount of time. I've been on Facebook and Instagram and on speaker. And I don't have the slightest idea why it's not doing it. So, guys, if you happen to be watching me on YouTube, on YouTube, or on any one of these on platforms, and you want to share this, go ahead and share it on our Facebook Lives and things of that sort, so people can find us and know what's going on today, Good Friday. Yes, today is Good Friday. And first of all. Will you please get that cat out of here? Thank you. First of all, before any, spiritual reasons or anything of that sort, Good Friday makes me think about my childhood, okay? It makes me think about my grandmama and how she was a devout Catholic. And inside our home, when she came to live with us after she had gotten, older, there wasn't any music played, there wasn't any meat eaten, there wasn't all these little things that, old-time Catholics did on Good Friday. And it just brings me back memory lane about her, okay? So it's actually, an ancestral thing to me. But what really gets me on Good Friday, and this is something that's been getting me for a lot of years, the crisscross of the in-betweens, okay? The people that are in between spiritualities. I've always been a reluctant Catholic. I've always been reluctant of anything on that spectrum of my spirituality. But it is an ancestral thing. So I do certain things on Good Friday that I do in remembrance of my ancestors. Because my grandmother, as I said, was, that type of Catholic. I also remember going to Catholic churches on Easter Sunday. And when I was young, okay, and I was really young, Catholic services all over the place were still done in Latin, okay? So, mind you, I was bored as hell because, one, I didn't understand Latin. Two, I didn't want to be in church. And three, it was just fucking plain boring to me. But anyway, Um, the mixture of, okay. A lot of people in the ATRs and DTRs, for those of you who do not know what ATRs are, they are African traditional religions, okay, or DTRs, diasporic traditional religions, okay. And I have to tell you that a lot of these spiritualities that we practice here are diasporic, meaning that there was something that were brought over from another place, brought here and changed or manipulated to help us in our conditions. See, I'm often taken aback when you hear somebody say, well, this is not, a certain Rama Apollo or whatever is not traditional. Well, it is all traditional because the things that are used in Cuba were not the things that were used in Africa. Let's be real. But anyway, my whole thing of this conversation today is, do you have your spiritual protections up? Why do I say this? Again, because I'm talking about the mixture of the ATRs with Christianity or with other terms of other things of belief. Although we do know that in certain Ramas of the Congo, in certain places in the Congo, Christianity was there before the slave trade. Okay? You don't want to believe me? Look up Kimbisa. Okay? The Empress herself. But anyway, in the ATRs and DTRs, I've seen people that during Holy Week, they cover their orishas, or they cover their ngangas, or in some cases, deem this to be the perfect day to do witchcraft. This Good Friday, the perfect day to do witchcraft. Now, why would you say that people do this? One, because they've synchronized the ATRs and the DTRs with Christianity and with Catholicism, okay? And they have not been able to step back from that colonizing mindset. Now, why do you say people do a lot of witchcraft on this day? Or what they deem, dark arts on this time, okay? Again, because they're still connected to the colonizing aspect, the Christian way of thinking about things. See, what happens is that people believe that this is the only day throughout the year, although this happened so many thousand years ago, but people believe that this day, Friday, Good Friday, is the only day that Jesus Christ, yes, the Nazareth, is not on this land. Is not on this earthly plane. Because he got crucified, he goes down to heaven, goes down to hell, goes back up. That's where you get the stories of the Black Christ and all that kind of other foolishness. All right? So, you just got this, and you got this for me. See, people actually still have that mindset and think that this is the only day that they can get away with witchcraft. That there will be no judgment for their witchcraft. So the people that are all high and mighty and holy all year long say, well, shit, today is my fucking day to take it out on everybody that has done me wrong, that has whatever, this witchcraft will hit them better than anything else, and all that other kind of shit. Now, for you guys who are believers in this type of stuff, okay, I tell you, and maybe for those of you who are not believers in this stuff, you should always have your spiritual protection up, 365 days a year. And if you are a powerful worker or a worker that thinks, of your weight in gold, why pick this day to do wrong? You should be able to do it whenever the fuck you want to. But now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something else. With all the wrong that is in the world right now, this corona pandemic, with this with all the shit that's going around with the quarantine and all that kind of stuff that's going around, do you really really want to waste your time on negative energy? Do you really want to put more hurt, more disease, more whatever, ill feelings towards what's going on? That really makes me think about your character, your way of thinking, your head, as they say. See, but who am I to judge? I'm not judging anybody. But I'm just telling you, you either pick one or you pick the other. Pick one or pick the other, baby. It ain't that hard. Well, I am Candelo Kimbisa, and it's 12 o'clock somewhere, baby. I'll be right back when I try to figure out what's wrong with this goddamn Facebook feed. opening dialogue of this thing because I couldn't find out how to get you on at the time when I actually needed you. So you missed the whole dialogue about today being Good Friday. I'm going to go over it again just for you guys because I don't want a whole million people asking me questions in a little bit of what the fuck it was that I said, okay? And this, of course, is going to bring in a whole bunch of controversy. And people are going to say no, but remember, I've been in this for over 30 years, and I know it's true. I talked a little bit about it being Good Friday and how it brought about memories of my grandmother, her being a devout Catholic, and she would not let us eat meat, listen to music, and a whole plethora of other things we couldn't do on Good Friday as children. I remembered going to Catholic Mass on Sundays, on Easter Sunday, and at my time, of course, Catholic Masses were all done in Latin, okay? So my grandmother used to, read Latin and be able to say the prayers in Latin, okay? So that's something else that my grandmother would do. But the main thing I was talking about was the people in the synchronicity of the ATRs and DTRs with Catholicism and Christianity. It is a known fact that a whole bunch of people in the ATRs today, although they're all during the year, they're all love and light, decide to do left-hand work or try to do witchcraft. Now, you say, why? Why do they want to do witchcraft now? Well, because of the synchronicity, okay? Believing in two spiritualities, okay? Believing in two spiritualities. Believing in Christianity and believing in the ATRs, okay? So if you believe in both or have a little bit of knowledge of both, they say to themselves that whatever they're done or whatever bad witchcraft is done on today, Good Friday, it is not seen by God. It can be done without judgment because it is the only day that Jesus Christ is not on the land. It's not here. Okay? He ascends into heaven. He ascends into hell, does whatever he does down there. That's where the thing comes up of the Black Christ. Okay? So they actually believe that whatever they do on this day, guess what? Nobody's here to watch it. It's not going to hurt them spiritually on their spiritual climb to whatever the fuck they're looking for. But I'm not saying that Christian beliefs were not in Africa prior to the diaspora, okay? You want to believe it, you don't have to. We're talking about historical facts with Kimpavita, and several other queens that were in Africa prior to this. But that does not mean that they stopped whatever they were doing to honor someone other's dead ancestor. The spirituality was very different. Congolese spirituality and Congolese Christianity has nothing to do or had nothing to do with the way that evangelicals or the people of the New World see Christianity. Okay? So let's get that out the way. All right? So my whole thing is, if you come from one of these types of synchronized religions or synchronized spiritualities, it would be in your best interest to fucking protect yourself. All right? If you seem to believe in that type of spirituality. I protect myself all day, every fucking day of the year. And that should also be your practice. And for those of you who choose to do malice or do left-hand work on this day, I wonder, how do you justify that? How do you justify that? Because you are betraying one of your gods or one of your idols or your savior or whatever the fuck you want to call him. See, it still does not, it still doesn't calculate. It still doesn't melt in my brain how people do this. But this is a known tradition. And again, I'll get some hate mail about it. Some people will deny it. But hey, I know it's true. Okay? I know it's true, and I've seen it happen, and I've known people that have gotten stuff done to them on this so-called holy day. All right? So put your guards up, ladies and gentlemen. Just because it is Good Friday, it doesn't mean there's some asshole burning a fucking candle in your name. I am Candelo Kimbisa, and it's 12 o'clock somewhere. Man, I hope you're having a good day, baby. Y'all go on ahead and have your little food and do your things. Remember to socially distance yourself from motherfuckers because people are sick out there, and you know how that is. Well, let's play a little bit of music. Hopefully I won't get muted or banned from any one of these sites. I'll be right back.
Hey baby, hey beautiful girl, hey beautiful girl. Hey baby, hey come along, to kiss me. Yeah, come along, to kiss me. Don't you kiss me. Ah, sorry, I'm don't you kiss me. Nice. Come along. Don't you meditate? Come on. Won't you meditate? I send a message to tell you.
I tell you guys, this internet is driving me.
Come along, to kiss me. Come along, to kiss me. Don't you kiss me. Nice. Don't you kiss me. Nice. Come along.
Don't sing it to my baby.
Hello, my baby.
Everybody that's saying it. YouTube is lit up, Instagram is lit up, Facebook is lit up.
My sweet Zimbe, I'm
just wondering.
I love.
With a great amount of depth.
Hello, my sweet.
There will be some seeds planted during this quarantine.
Hello, my chocolate.
A whole bunch of new love created.
My sweet Zimbe, hello, my chocolate. Hello, sugar baby. Hello, sweet chocolate. Hello, I love my sweet Zimbe. I love you. Oh baby. Hello, my baby. Oh baby. Hello, my baby. Oh baby. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. Baby, my love. Oh baby, my love. Hello, my baby. Hello, my baby. So do I do love you. So do I do love you too. So do I do love you too.
Remember to like and share this little experience.
I do love you too. Oh baby, oh baby, baby. Hello, my baby. Hello, my sweet. Hello, my baby. Hello. Hello, my baby. I love you. I need my sweet. I love you. Hello, my baby. Hello, my sweet. Hello, my baby. Hello. Hello, my baby. Hello, my chocolate. Hello. Hello, my baby. Hello, my sweet. Hello. I love you. I need you. 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 Oh baby, 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 baby.
Tarakadena ya tora moyo wa, my sweet zimbe ya kamedoka. Tarakadena ya peta moyo wa, tarakadena ya.
Baby, 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 baby. Hello my sweet. Hello, my baby. Hello, my chocolate. Hello, my sugar.
Hello, my baby.
Hello,
my lover.
my sweet
Hello, my baby. Hello, my lover.
I love you, baby. I need you, baby. I love you, baby. I love you.
Yes, sir. That was Lady Black Mix Max Smith Boombazo with Hello, My Baby. Well, I haven't done this in a while, so I guess today I will read you a passage from The Adventures of High John the Conqueror by Steve Sanfield. And it's called This One, That One. One chilly midwinter's day, old master sent John down to town for a bit of business for him. It was late afternoon before John started back. Frost rimmed the ridges of the road. The sun had already slipped behind the piney woods in the west, and the sky was black as the bottom of a deep well by the time John passed the cemetery. Graveyards were places where dead people and ghosts lived, and John didn't want anything to do with those folks. He quickened his pace, but as he walked by the gate, he thought he heard someone talking. One part of himself told John to keep on moving as fast as he could, but another part of him made him creep closer so he could hear a little better. You take this one, and I'll take that one. You take this one, and I'll take that one, the voice said. And John was listening. What John was listening to was two slaves dividing up a sack of sweet potatoes they had liberated from their master's root cellar earlier that day. They figured that since no one ever went into the cemetery after dark, it would be a safe place for them to split their bounty. When John heard the voice say again, "You take this one and I'll take that one," he thought, "Oh my goodness, Judgment Day has come. That must be the Lord and the devil dividing up everyone's souls." Not desiring to be around there for such an event, John scooted out of there faster than lightning flashing across the sky. He got back to the plantation without as much as taking a breath, and there was Master waiting for him, as he always was. "Glad to see you moving so fast, John. That's the way I like to see you move. Now, how did business go?" he asked. "Forget about business, Master. There's more important business going down than your business. The Lord and the devil are down at the graveyard dividing up souls at this very moment." "Don't start with your foolishness, John. Just tell me how it went today. It ain't no foolishness. I'm telling you the truth," said John, glancing over his shoulder to make sure he hadn't been followed. "The Lord and the devil were down there dividing up souls. I heard it with my own 2 ears." "Well, John, why don't we just both go down there and have a look? and if you're lying, I'll have 50 stripes laid across your hide, threatened Master. Lay as much stripes as you like, but I am telling you the truth. They are down there and they're dividing up souls. John didn't particularly want to return to the cemetery, but back then white folks did what they pleased, while black folks did as they could. So off he and Master went down the road. They stood there in the cold, dark night, unable to see anything, when they heard a voice say, "You take this one, I'll take that one. You take this one, I'll take that one. Didn't I tell you, Master? That's them there, the Lord and the devil, doing their business." Master thought he heard it right, but it wasn't something he wanted to believe. Besides, it wouldn't do good for his slave or any slave to see how he was feeling a little frightened. "Shh," he whispered. "Let's get a little closer." Just as they reached the gate, the two fellas who had been dividing up the potatoes came to the bottom of the gunny sack. The one who was counting remembered they had dropped 2 potatoes as they entered the cemetery. "You take those 2, he said, "and I'll take the 2 by the gate." John and Master didn't waste a single word discussing it. They both started running like 2 deer, trying to get out the path of a forest fire. They passed each other again and again and again, but that night, for the first time, Master ran faster than John, and he was already at the big house when John arrived. "Was I right, Master? Was I right?" he griped. John trying to catch up with his own breath. Master nodded his head in agreement. His breath hadn't caught up with him yet either. Before he went inside, he calmly bolted and locked the door to the night and to anything or anyone who might be out there. But you can once be sure it was a long, long time before he doubted High John the Conqueror's words again. Guys, again, these stories come from The Adventures of High John the Conqueror by Stephen Sandfield. Please do buy yourself a copy, give it to your children, read it to your children, read it to your grandchildren. It is a very good lesson on High John the Conqueror and why it is revered and why he is revered and why people use him to this day or use the root name High John the Conqueror to this day. There are so many of you using this root. There are so many of you playing conjure doctors or, hoodoo, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, but don't know the history behind these roots. Don't know the folklore behind these roots. So I ask you all to look into them, check them out, check out this book, and hey, baby, you know how it is. Well, let's get into a little bit of this song here because every time I play it, I get a whole bunch of people that actually love it. So let's play it and let's get down. It's Good Friday. And if your grandmother's in the house, please turn the music down. There you go. Rose Harrington. How you doing, mama? Letitia Freeman. With the group Ilu Aye, and the name of the song is Latinosa. I had someone ask me the other day about the first song that I played today. It's called Negro Fino, okay? And other people think that this song, because they hear the word negro and fino and blanco, it's actually a type of racist rant by some palero, and it's not, okay? It's a thing about friendships and manhood, actually, okay? And you got to think that a lot of these songs are bits and pieces of song melded together to make a whole song, okay? So when you hear these songs, a lot of these songs have little bits and pieces, even the Mambos and Paulo, okay? And you also have to think about these songs as call and response, okay? Call and response is where the gallo, the singer, says something and the people say something back, okay? And it is to egg on spirits, to make energy flow better. And as you see, like even in Baptist churches and things that have African-American Baptist churches, they have a lot of call and response prior to the stomping and all that stuff there. And it's an actual way to meld or to be able to get in alignment with spirit, okay? So when you hear the song Negro Fino, que me dé la mano, a fine, it says, a black man who gives me his hand has to be a fine man. Not fine in structure, but fine in character. A fine individual. A white man who gives me his hand must be a gangulero like myself. See, we have to learn how to set boundaries in the things that we do, the friendships that we keep, and the circles that are around us. So if someone claims to want these types of interactions or these types of friendships, there's nothing wrong with it. Listen to the songs, listen to why they say them, listen to how the drum changes at a certain moment, and listen to these things. Learn to call and response. Learn to call and response even in your everyday lives. I used to think even the ciphers with the 5%ers, all right? The ciphers with the 5%ers was a type of call or response because someone would say something and the other guy would build on it. You understand? So my call for you today is that you learn the responses, that you keep the circles around you tight. The people that are good, hold on to them, and the people that ain't shit, get rid of them, baby. Remember, put your guards up today. It is Good Friday, and a lot of these fools want to do a whole bunch of shit they ain't supposed to be doing. Not only because today is Good Friday, but because of the state of the world. There's a lot of people hurting out there. All this energy that you guys are wasting and doing all this bullshit, you know, all this so-called bad witchcraft and all this kind of stuff, you know, if it ain't justified, leave it alone. And if you lived with it until this moment, just let it go until it's all over. Remember that the ancestors have a way of evening shit out. Each and every one of you has a guardian angel. Each and every one of you has killer ancestors. I want to thank each and every one of you that has been sending Okopuki goddamn fan mail. It is amazing how my alter ego is getting more fan mail than me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a safe day, okay? I am Candelo Kimbisa. This has been, it's 12 o'clock somewhere. Our things are still on the way. You know, we're just trying to see how this coronavirus thing works out. Several of our appearances have been canceled due to the coronavirus, but each and every one of us are still around. We're still giving online classes. We're still doing works, readings, and all that stuff there, okay? So we're still around, guys. So we're still looking forward to the Conjure Shop in Omaha, Nebraska, St. John's Conjure Weekend in New Orleans, the Detroit Hoodoo Heritage Festival in August. So, you know, once it starts warming up, so hopefully we'll be able to start getting closer to you guys, okay? So these things are still coming up. I mean, as we get closer to them and this thing has not lifted, I don't know if we're going to be able to make it, but you can still reach us online, okay? You can still reach Charles Porterfield. You can still reach Hoodoo Zen Moise, Mama Star Cassis, Michelle Jackson, Yvette the Motown Witch, Ifa Ibeyu, Miss Doc Beverly, Man, there are so many people you can still reach in this time. Duchess, Lady Duchess also does some wonderful classes and some online courses. You can check us all out online. You can check me out in particular on the Hoodoo Healing Circle. Don't worry, we don't only speak about hoodoo. We speak about a whole bunch of other stuff. Remember, guys, like, share, do what you got to do. And, you know, we're here for each other, baby. That's what we're here for. One hand washes the other and both wash their face. If you want to be on Candelo's Corner, okay, I'm trying to work on some new software, okay, so I can bring on new readers, bring on new storytellers, bring on people. Man, this is a community, guys. Let's do this together. As always, may all the egoons and shadows that accompany you have all the necessary light. From where I, Candelo Kimbisa, sits, that's it. Salam alaikum, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend and keep striving. Time to do some painting. Time for my famous belly dance. Peace and love, everyone.